Hi, in this video we will talk about a type conversion and a casting in Python. Already I prepared one Jupyter notebook because it's easy to understand. So when we will write the code in manually, it will take time. So that's why I would like to finish it in short term. That's why I created Jupyter notebook before. So I will explain everything in this video. So the value that what is the type conversion is that Python converts the values from one data type to another data type. There are two kinds of type conversion we will talk about in this video. Implicit type conversion and explicit conversion, that is called casting as well. So then we will talk about that. Implicit type conversion, it's Python does it automatically. We don't need to do anything. It's already it's predefined. It's like integer value, float value, like this. But explicit type conversion is programmer does it manually using functions like integer function, float function, string function, boolean function, like this we will do explicit. So first we will talk about the integer int function, how it converts the value to the integer. So integer int function is convert the string, float or boolean into integer value, the numeric string. So before video we talk about that string function. So how to define the string. So how so we using single quotes, double quotes, triple quotes to define the string. And so if you want, then you can go with that previous video. I will explain in that video about a string value. So even in the 5, it is an integer value, but it's treated as a string because it has in single quotes, right? But we need to become like integer value. So when we use this as a integer value, then we need to convert that uh, string value to integer using int function. So then we will check with that. Even that decimal values also we will need to round that floating function around that function as well. That are true or false boolean values. So before also we discussed about boolean values. True becomes a 1, false becomes 0. So if you need more information, you can go in the previous video as well. You can check with in this video. Then I prepared one notebook. We will check. So I integer value. So in integer, I defined the 5 in the single quotes. It's treated as a string, but we need to convert that string to integer value. This is called typecasting integer. So then we will run this cell. We check, see, converted into the 5 into integer value using int function. This is called type explicit type conversion. Then type check. So type int, what type it is, we need to check. So confirm that result integer 5, right? So integer 5 means we converted the 5 into integer value. It's really, is it integer or not, we will check that. See, I'm run that. See, it is an integer value. What is the type of int? This is a string. So output is integer. This is called type conversion. Then again, this is a float. This is the float. So 3.9. This is truncation, not rounding. So Python simply drop the decimal part. 3.9 become 3, not 4. Because it's rounding. That is not rounding. Only it is taking the integer value only, not float value. Then we will check. We run this cell. See, it's take 3 only. So what we understand in this cell, in this function, only 3.9 is converted into the Only it's took integer value only, not in the float value. It's not converting type, sorry, it's not rounding the value. Only it's taken integer value. S- See, it's taken output is 3. We'll check. So integer 3.1 also truncates. So see 3.1. We will check again. See, even it's a 3.1 also, it's a truncate the 3 only, because it took only the integer value. See, then we go with the minus 3.9. We will check with this truncation moves 0 not, yeah, see, this is also minus 3. Only it has taken the integer value. Minus places doesn't matter, only it's taken the integer value, not in the decimal value. So round, this is the round function. Here we will find the difference between truncation and round value. So round of 3.9, how it will take, we'll check. Round which actually rounded the nearest value. What is the nearest value to 3.9? It is a 4, right? Then we will run the cell, then we will see the output, then we realize, see, 3.9, it goes to the nearest value. It's rounded to the nearest value. 3.9 nearest value is 4. Even minus 3.9 nearest value also minus 4. See, the output is minus 4. Even so, before we talk about that boolean values, right? So true equal to 1 and false equal to 0. So integer of true, true means 1. Integer of false means 0. Then we will check with that. Even before, in the before previous video we discussed about boolean. So you can start with the capital letter true. Mm, even in the false also, you start with capital letter false. If you given to the small letter, it's give the wrong. It's treated as a string, so not like boolean. So we will check with this cell. See, integer true equal to, before we talk about true equal to 1, false equal to 0. Integer of true is a 1, so 0, false is 0. So in this cell, what we write in this, we given the white spaces in the middle of the integer number. Even in the string, it white spaces works fine. It treated as a space as a string as well. That is a tailoring, the spaces are ignored. These spaces are ignored. So this is the typecasting. We are giving the this is the string value, right? The string value we are converting into the integer. So even that white spaces, it's removed, it's ignored. So we will run this cell, say 42. Only it considered as a, it's a converted into a string, converted into integer. So integer, so this is the float, right? 3.9. Even in the 3.9 as well, we are in the single quotes. It's treated as a string. So how could you convert this 3.9 float into the integer number? So before we discussed about 3.9, the integer number is 3, right? So we will check this cell. See, this is a float of 3.9. It's an integer value. We take only the integer value. See, 3. This is not rounded, only converting the. So section 2, in that section 2 we will talk about that float converted to a decimal number, right? So what is float? Float is a function. It's a convert the string and integers into floating point number. Here 3.1 floor. So this is the float number, but it's binded into the single quotes. So it treated as a string. So how this string converted into float? This is the function. We will check. We will run how it will see, because we converted the string value into float. Typecasting is float, right? We converted the float. So 3.14, it's removed the string to it is typecasting, converted into string to float. So 3.4. Before what we integer function we used. So integer function is it's taken only the integer value. It's doesn't take it float value, right? Here, but we converted into float. It took all the number with decimal. So float of 10. Here float of 10 means 10.0, because we are adding the float, we are converting the into the float, integer converted into the float number. So we will check. See 10.0. So this 0 is a float, right? Even true or false. Float. True is 1, false is 0. So this integer value converted into float, how you will get the answer? See 1.0, 0.0. Even a boolean number also converted into the float. So float, it's a 10. 10 is binded with a single quote, so it's a converted into float. This is the string. It is a string converted into the float. We'll check. Say 10.0. This is the float number. Output is float. So after we talk about that string function, in this string function, convert the almost any value into the text representation. So whatever you will give, it will convert it into the string, even integer, float, or a boolean, or else yeah, imaginary part. That everything what you given in the into that function, it will convert it into the string. So this is a string of 10. 10 is a integer number. It's converted into the string. Before we did that, same as its opposite. It will convert it into. See, binded with single quotes. Whatever you have in the single quotes or double quotes or triple quotes, it's treated as a string. Even here 10 also it is treated as a string. So type check. See, type up string of 10. See, string. What is this type is string, right? 10 is here. What is the 10? 10 is a string, because we converted this integer into the string. That's why what is this type is string type. Even so 3.14, this is the even float number, as 3.14 is a float number. Even this float number as well converted into the string with using the string function. This is the type conversion. We are doing the type conversion explicitly, manually we are doing. So when we run the cell, see 3.14, then we will check this what this type is. Then we don't have a cell, right? Control C, add one cell, then we will check typecasting. Type, we'll check with type of type, then run the cell. See, this is the string. Even the float number also, it is a string. Float number converted into the string. What is the type? Type is a string. Yeah, true or false? True or false are boolean numbers, right? We will check with boolean numbers. even we converted into, say, in the binded with the single quotes and double quotes. Even this is also string. This is not a boolean number. Now it a boolean number is converted into the string. Even so here, this is a, so we used here a group of values. This is called a list of values, right? 1 2 3, this is the list of values. List of values are converted into the string. Even this is the list. Even list also converted into the string. See, so we try with the, see, age is 25 because this is the string 25. Even 25 also converted as a string. Here age plus string of 25. Now we talk about the boolean. We know that boolean is true or false. Before we discussed about boolean, what is true and what is false. So true is 1, false equal to 0. Before we discussed many times about this. We will check boolean of bool of 0. So bool of 0 means false. Bool of 1 is true. We will check. So bool of -5. See, bool of 0 is false. Boolean of 1 equal to true. Boolean of -5. So boolean is what it's showing non-zeros. All non-zero numbers is true. Only 0 is false. This is -5 is non-zero, right? So that's why it's treated as a true value. Even we'll check boolean of space, boolean of a, boolean of false. Even so empty string is false. Here it doesn't have anything. So non-empty string is true. We have a, this is non-empty string. Even a false, if false also is binded with the single quotes, right? Even this is also treated as a true because it's non-empty, right? So we will check even 0 or false. We will check. See, non-empty, this is empty is false. See, the an empty string is false. Non-empty, so a, it has a yes, right? String, this is non-empty, it's going to the output is true. Even false also, false is not single, it's binded with single quotes. So that's why it's treated as a string but not empty. That's why it's a even false also, it's a output is true because it's, this is not false. This is not treated as a 0, it's treated as a string. That's why it's given to the output is true. Then even it will work uh, list, tuple, distinct, dictionary, set. Even empty, if it has empty like this, is treated as a false. If it has something integer, decimal, true or false, boolean, everything, whatever it is, string, even string also, it is that non-empty, right? That's it's treated as a true. We will check with that list as well. See, this list is doesn't have anything in that list. That's why it treated as its output is false. In this boolean, it has something inside the list, so that's why the output is false. So till now we seen that type conversion uh, explicitly. So how we convert the type that string to integer, integer to string, how to convert the float to string, string to float, boolean to integer, integer, sorry, boolean to integer, how to assign the values in the boolean. So everything we seen in that before, we have seen. And now we will discuss about implicit type conversion automatically. No need to convert the values, it implicitly is already predefined. We don't do anything. So integer plus float, equal to float. So because integer 5 plus 3.5 equal to 8.5, right? So output is 8.5 means that is also float. So Python automatically upgrades the integer to the float. So no data is lost, but no need to lose the data. So we are adding the values. That's why we don't want uh, we don't want lost the data. So then I can run this. See 8.5, 3 plus 5 plus 3.5. We are not losing the data right here. 8.5. Only we are adding integer value plus float value. Here type up 5 plus 3 3.5. So this is a float, right? This is the float. What is the type? We need to check the type. See, this is the float because integer plus 4 float equal to float, because we this is not wasting the last the value anything. So even boolean true plus 5, true is 1, right? True is 1 plus 5, 6. This output is 6. Boolean plus integer equal to integer. Even boolean here false plus 5 equal to 5, because false equal to 0. So the true behave like a 1 is arithmetic. So this becomes so normal integer. We check, run the cell. See, true equal to 1 plus 5. 1 plus 5 equal to 6. Output is 6. Already we discussed before. True plus 5.5. It will goes to the float number, because true equal to 1. 1 plus 5.5. It's a 6.5. So we don't want last the data, right? We don't want last anything. That's why it's converted into the float. See, 6.5. So if we want to check this as well, then what type of this we will check. Even type of type typ. So type of value we will check. See, float. So what we learn in this video, string integer. So this is the allowed implicit conversion. We are not doing anything implicitly. It's a designed, it's a predefined. But Python refers to the guess here. You must cast explicitly. See the we already we seen that, right? Explicitly how to convert the string into integer, integer value to string, float value to string, string to float. So we seen all examples before. So in this int function, float, string, boolean, right? This is the four functions. What it converts the integer truncates to the floats even. So integer 3.9 equal to result is 3. This is not rounding. It convert to the integer value, float value. It's a convert to the decimal number. Even integer value also it converted to the float number as well. See, but here it is a string because it's a single quotes. It has single quotes, that right? That's why it's treated as a string. This string converted into the float 3.14. This is the float number. So type conversion is float, right? If you give it the here it's a string integer, it will give you the 3, right? So string convert to the text, whatever you give in that function, it will convert it into the string. 10 is integer, integer is converted into the string. So see, 10 is a single quotes, right? If whatever it has in the single quotes or double quotes in the triple quotes, it's treated as a string. Even boolean, so convert based on the truthiness. Boolean of 0 equal to false, boolean of 1 equal to true. So this is hope you could understand everything. Thank you so much.